It's recently been announced that La La Land is in the process of workshopping to become a stage musical. I don't think that's a good idea, and if you want to know why, you've come to the right place. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we look at different performances and then we share our perspectives. If you're new here, hey, I'm Cara Darling, and if you love musical theater, then don't forget to like and subscribe to this video because I feel like you'll like this show. Anyways, before I jump into all about La La Land, I do want to say that this announcement happened a couple months ago, and I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to do a video on it. And then I even watched Ellie Talks Theater. I watched her talk about it, and I just kept thinking, this shouldn't be a stage show. So after a while, I finally thought to myself, just talk about it, okay? Let's just talk about it, can we? La La Land is a 2016 American romantic musical, comedy drama film written and directed by Damien Chazelle and starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. The plot follows a musician and an inspiring actress who fall in love while pursuing their dreams in Los Angeles. On a $30 million budget, La La Land grossed a whopping $446 million worldwide and received widespread critical acclaim, with particular praise going to its direction, acting, visuals, musical score, and songs. The film won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture! Just kidding, that was Moonlight, but La La Land is tied the record for the most Oscars nominations for a single film. It also won a record-tying 14 British Academy Film Awards, including Best Film and Outstanding British Film. Stories of bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, aspiring actors and musicians trying to make it in the big smoke is a well-worn trope. So it makes sense that this should be a stage show, right? Mark Platt, who produced the show, sure thinks so, and as he says, I'm thrilled to reunite with Lionsgate and the incredible team behind La La Land to adapt the movie for the Broadway stage, the next exciting chapter in its evolution. We assembled a world-class team to create a musical that will delight La La Land's millions of current fans and introduce the property to a whole new audience. The team he's referring to is Bartlett Sher, who is directing the stage adaptation. Bartlett Sher has also worked on To Kill a Mockingbird, Fiddler on the Roof. Even recently, we talked about Camelot. The book is based on the playwrights Ayad Akhtar and Matthew Decker's work. The show will feature music by Justin Hurwitz. Justin hasn't really done much after La La Land, has he? I mean, the most recent was Babylon, but anyways, lyrics by composing team Benj Pasek and Justin Paul. All right, so it's musical cupcake time, so let's go ahead and look at the batter. The story is fine, okay? But we've seen it multiple times. A Star is Born, The Last 5 Years, and even Funny Girl, where two people fall in love, but their love is affected when one person in the relationship is becoming more successful at accomplishing their career goals. If they were in a healthy relationship, they would cheer on each other's accomplishment, but unfortunately, with the couples in these stories, their insecurities are exasperated. I'm not saying that La La Land is a terrible story. I'm just saying it's not original. I did read a comment saying, so are we just gonna pretend that this white guy is saving jazz from John Legend? Music-wise, it's just fine. Although there are shows out there with far more memorable music, many people complain that Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone didn't have the vocal chops for their respective roles, but I disagree. I love that they sounded authentic, which made their simplicity that more effective when compared to the well-crafted choreography and cinematography. Overall, the batter is fine. It's just fine. Now, despite that lackluster assessment, this may be shocking, but I actually like this movie musical, and if you're wondering why, one word: cinematography. The whole movie is a love letter to the classic movie musicals. Yes, the 2017 Academy Awards sparked intense debate and controversy when La La Land was mistakenly announced as the winner of Best Picture. However, there was no doubt about its well-deserved win in cinematography category. From the opening sequence, from the beginning, when they opened the show, they feature CinemaScope, which was a big deal back in the 1950s because it introduced audiences to widescreen. I also feel that there was a nod to Technicolor, as the intro begins in black and white, then gradually transitions to color. The opening sequence is a great example of La La Land's cinematography at its best. We see the city of Los Angeles in all its glory and the sun shining down on the buildings and the cars. The whole sequence is shot in one continuous take, which is pretty amazing. Only a genius could make a traffic jam on the 106 look fun. In fact, that reminded me of Busby Berkeley's work. You know, a visual spectacle featuring a ton of people and staircases. Don't get me started about the staircases. Throughout the film, we are treated to some stunning shots of Los Angeles both during the day and at night. When watching them dance in a lovely night, the scenery makes me think of Singing in the Rain, when Don sets the scene to tell Kathy he loves her. The song itself is very reminiscent of If I Loved You from Carousel, when they're sharing their feelings for one another without committing. Mia and Sebastian are literally dancing around the thought of liking each other. The colors in La La Land are very bold and saturated. This was intentional on Sandrin's part, as he wanted to create a vintage Hollywood look for the film. The lighting in La La Land is also used to great effect. Sandgren made use of both natural and artificial light sources and knew how to use them to create the desired effect. One of the reasons why I love this musical is that even though it is referencing other musicals, you still feel like you are sneaking and watching a real person's life. For example, Mia's audition process, the two trying to find her car, the fight scene when they're eating dinner is one of my top scenes. Because like others I mentioned, they're all relatable. To be rejected, to compromise, for God and love, seeing the potentials, you can see yourself in either character. It's almost as if the movie incorporates both realistic tones and studio effects to end up with its own creation. With the romantic and visually arresting scenes when they go to the observatory museum in Griffith Park, it's no wonder it's one of the most iconic moments from La La Land. I can't put my finger on it. I know it has to be. I feel like it's a Fred Astaire musical that they're referencing. If you know, let me know. So given what I've said about the storyline being basic and dare I say it, uninspired, I think it's the cinematography that makes La La Land an outstanding movie musical, because cinematography is the core component of film, not theater. I do not think La La Land as a stage production will be as good as the film. The strengths of the movie are because it's a movie. The reference shot scenes to classic Hollywood movie musicals, the shots of world-renowned Los Angeles landmarks, and the greatest point this movie makes is the cliche happy ending. Shown through a series of shots of their lives had they split up and each followed their dreams without compromising for that little thing called love. This scene of what could have been is one that not everyone agrees with. Some people are confused about what happened and what is the real story. Some feel it's a waste of time. I, however, found it was perfect. La La Land is a perfect title. If this was a perfect world in your imagination, it also plays on the fact that this is another name for Los Angeles. Alright, anyways, darlings, that's it for today's episode. I would love to know your thoughts about La La Land becoming a stage production. And without further ado, take care, darling.